when life no longer makes sense. Have you ever reached that point where everything seems to fall apart? When no matter how hard you try, nothing works, and life feels like a series of calculated blows designed to break you. Sometimes pain arrives suddenly, with no warning, like a storm tearing through without mercy. Other times, it creeps in slowly, like a tide rising inch by inch until you realize you're drowning. What once was hope starts to feel like naive optimism. What you used to call faith now feels like a cruel joke. And yet, here you are. Maybe not because you believe things will get better, but simply because giving up doesn't feel like an option either. It's at this exact point, when all the masks have fallen, when there's no more strength to pretend you're okay, that what's real finally begins to surface. What looks like destruction on the outside is often a silent process at work on the inside, something that to human eyes may seem cruel, but is actually shaping you for a future you can't yet see. Today, I want to take you on a journey to understand why sometimes we have to break, so we can finally grow. The hidden hand behind the breaking. Pain rarely knocks before it enters. It bursts in, rearranges the furniture of your life, strips away what you thought you couldn't live without, and leaves the place looking unrecognizable. At first glance, it feels like pure chaos. But when we look closer, we realize even chaos has a strange kind of precision. In many spiritual, philosophical, and even psychological perspectives, pain isn't treated as an accident or a punishment. It's part of a refining process. Nature itself doesn't preserve comfort. It preserves transformation. A field must be plowed before new seeds can grow. A tree must be pruned, sometimes harshly, for its fruit to become sweeter and stronger. Practical example 1. Losing a job. Imagine someone who unexpectedly loses their job. In the moment, panic takes over. Bills piling up, daily routine shattered, self-esteem crushed. But months later, that same person realizes that job was actually keeping them from pursuing their true calling. Losing it forced them to reevaluate their life. And from that reevaluation, a new, more fulfilling career emerged. Practical example 2, end of a relationship. A breakup can feel like the end of the world. But with time, you realize you were losing yourself in the relationship, silencing important parts of who you are. The ending, painful as it was, opened the door for you to rediscover yourself and build relationships that honor your true self. Practical exercise, mapping the meaning. Take a sheet of paper and create 4 columns. Event, what I felt at the time. What I lost, what this made room for. Choose 3 difficult moments from your life and fill them in. When you read it back, you'll see that even in loss, there's always space for something new to grow. And when emotions feel overwhelming, try the 90-second pause. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 2, release for 6. Don't try to solve anything during that moment. Just create space for clarity. Vessels of scars, carriers of light. Everything you've been through has left marks, and those marks are far more valuable than you think. The world often glorifies those who never fall, who seem perfect. But when people are in pain, they seek those who have been in the darkness and found their way back. That's because there's a type of authority that doesn't come from degrees or titles, but from experience. If you've been through deep pain and allowed yourself to heal, you carry a lighthouse within you. Your presence says without words, I know what it's like to be there, and I know it's possible to get out. Practical example 1, overcoming addiction. Think of someone who has overcome an addiction. They haven't just changed their own life. They can now offer others guidance, hope, and most importantly, genuine understanding. Practical example 2, turning grief into purpose. Or someone who has lost a loved one and, in the midst of grief, decided to create a support project for other families. The loss didn't disappear, but it was transformed into active empathy. Practical exercise, the scar inventory. List the 3 most defining experiences of your life. Next to each one, right? What did this teach me? How can I use this to help others? You may be surprised to find that your deepest pain is often the exact thing someone else needs to find their strength. But a warning, before helping others, take care of yourself first. Give from a place of balance, not burnout. Rebirth doesn't mean going back to who you were. It means becoming someone new, shaped by the lessons life has carved into you. After the storm, rebuilding is slow, sometimes painfully so, but step by step, you begin to notice you're different, more aware, more selective, stronger. Practical example 1, career redirection. The person who lost their job and took the time to learn new skills might, months later, be working in a far more rewarding profession. The transformation was built in small, consistent actions. Practical example 2, healthier relationships. After a breakup, you learn to respect yourself more, which leads to choosing relationships that truly nourish you, instead of ones that simply fill the space. 30-day rebirth plan. 5-minute journal. Write down 3 small things you did to care for yourself today. Daily micro-action toward a personal goal. 10-minute phone-free walk. Pay attention to your surroundings. 1 daily lesson the pain has taught you. At the end of 30 days, you'll see that your comeback has been happening quietly in the small choices. Release ritual. Write down what you're ready to let go of. Fear, guilt, anger. Then burn it or tear it apart, symbolically making room for what's next. The pain you've lived through is not wasted. It can be the soil that nourishes your growth, the fire that purifies what no longer serves you, and the forge that shapes your strength. You don't have to romanticize suffering, but you can choose to transform it into something that builds you. And one day, looking back, you may realize the very thing that almost broke you was the thing that qualified you to carry the light you now hold. If you found meaning in these words, subscribe to The Healing Vibe for more content that will inspire, guide, and empower your healing journey. Your rebirth starts here.